Mic check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Good afternoon. Maybe good afternoon to some people, but good evening here in Chicago, Illinois. It is 4:53 p.m. here. So good evening to my Midwesterners. Good evening to people on the East Coast. Still afternoon for people out in California. Hello, hello. Welcome to another daily live stream. It's nice to see you all. It's nice to see you all in chat, talking to each other, sharing your journey, being accountable. That's exactly what I love to see. It reminds me that I'm not alone on my journey. And for anybody here right now who is thinking, oh, this sucks. Why do I have to do it alone? Why me? Why me? Why me? Why me? Well, it's more than just you. I've been doing this now for 687 days. So you're not alone. Before I continue on, Maggie May, Birdie, Josh, Tanisha, Jordan, Liver King, Megan, Deja, For the Good, Randall, Kevin. Did I say Kevin already? No, I didn't. Who else am I missing here? Miss Peaceful One. Did I say that already too? Cap Rising. Who else is in here? Kevin. Did I just say Kevin? Margaret from Facebook. I always have to say from Facebook. K Betters. Portia, hello. Welcome. Welcome. If I missed you, let me know that I missed you and I'll say, what's up? Hello. Welcome to another daily live stream. We are live streaming a little later in the evening or the early evening. I had a really busy day earlier today and I still have a lot to do and I have a train to catch. So we're going to make sure we cover all the bases today. Hi, Lynn. I see you there in chat. Welcome. If you're here right now and you are looking for accountability, this is the place to be. If you're wondering, how can I show accountability? Do it in chat. That's what this is for. This is an accountability live stream. This is a place where I will share how my day is going, what my journey is looking like. And if it's helpful for you, share with us. Share with us in chat. Share the good and the bad. This isn't a place to just brag about your wins, although there's nothing wrong with that. But this should also be a place for sharing your struggles when you're having a hard time. God knows that I do. I'm in here every single day now for the last, I think today's day 61. With that being said, Monday, September 22nd, 2025. How's everyone's start of the week? Everyone doing okay? Hanging in there? For people in the Midwest and on the East, your Monday is probably coming to an end. If not, you're clocking out of work right now. 687 days on my journey. Every day matters. Every day counts. I don't throw away the day. I don't start over. It doesn't mean that it's 687 days. It doesn't mean that it's 687 days of perfection. That some days are harder than others. Some days are really good. Some days feel easy. And for a number of us, we struggle, we push, but we continue to show up. That's the difference. I've said this before, but for me, the only difference between you and me is I show up every day. And if you can show up for yourself every single day, you'd be surprised how much you can learn and grow from not just your good days, but on the days that you struggle, on the days that you're having difficulties. And actually, even Portia says here, I'm having a really hard time. Today's my fasting day, but I want to eat. So let's talk about this. let's dig into this. For Portia here, right? Today's her fasting day. And here's the thing. You want some support, Portia. Whenever this opens up, today is also my fasting day. I am 19 and a half hours in. Sometimes for people, it's just nice to know that you're not alone. So I'll say this to you. If you're fasting today, I'm fasting today. Nothing is going to break my fast today. Nothing is going to stop me from making sure I get through this fast today. Why? Because today is a non-negotiable day. Today is a day where I am not thinking about food. The food noise is off, but I know that it's hard for others and everyone's journey is different. But sometimes just knowing that you're not doing it alone can be helpful. Maybe what it means for you is maybe you need a 0-calorie drink. Maybe it's electrolytes. Maybe it's about modifying the fast just a little bit to get through it. And I love that there are people here in chat who are sharing and being able to help out. I love this. I love this because this is what I expect from the community, to be in this together. Yeah. And Portia says here, 21 and a half hours. So you and I are doing this at the same time, right? Maybe it's helpful in that way. Tommy, I'm in the middle of discussions here, sir. Tommy with a $10 Canadian super chat. Tommy, thank you so much for the support. As always, Tommy, it's nice to see you. Hello, hello. Hey there, Jerome. It's great to see you. It's great to see you as well, Tommy. Hopefully everything is doing well for you. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. Thank you for your support as always. It means so much to me. So Tommy, thank you again. I know I do this a lot, but I don't know how else to thank you all for your support. So Tommy, thanks again. Thanks so much. So even as Portia is talking about having a difficult time, I mean, other people are sharing here, right? And to be able to say something, try to stay busy. Keep your mind off eating. Staying busy helps me. Staying busy helps me as well. Brushing your teeth. And here's the thing. Some of you might see this and be like, well, that's not going to help. That doesn't help me. Okay, that's fine. But it's a tool in your back pocket to use if you think it might be helpful. Other people might see this and be like, I've never thought of that. Maybe this is something I can at least try. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, right? Miss Peaceful One says here, journaling. And here's the thing about journaling, especially for me, is I kind of journal, but for me, it's having these live streams. Every day that I do this is like a journal for me. It's a peek into my mind of how I'm feeling and why I'm choosing to do specific things and how I continue pushing on my journey. So these are great tips. It's helpful advice. And so I appreciate you all for being able to lend a little bit of knowledge, lend a little bit of support to help Portia out here, but to also help others who might be currently struggling at the same point, in the same way, in the same regard. Did I miss anything else? No, I don't think so. So 687 days into my journey. What have I been doing in the last 60 plus days? Fasting. Fasting has always been my foundation. It doesn't mean that fasting has to be your foundation, but fasting can be a great tool to keep you connected on your journey, to keep you pushing forward on your journey. You don't have to use fasting as strongly as I do, but it is a lever that works really, really well for me. In the last 60 plus days, I have done what I like to call a really good, imperfect, consistent schedule. Rounds of ADF, rounds of alternate day fasts, days where I'm eating 8,000 calories, days where I'll eat 5,000 calories, days where I'll fast for 90 plus hours, others where I fast for 60 some hours. And even during the last 60 plus days, a week where I went on vacation, a week where I went on vacation and I ate 4, 5, 6, 7,000 calories, but also some days on vacation where I fasted. Did I have to fast on my vacation day? No, I didn't have to. Do you have to fast on your vacation day? No, you don't have to. Do you have to eat 7,000 calories like I did? You don't. This is all about imperfect consistency. This is also about practicing flexible fasting. I've said this term before, but I think it's a really good way to look at this. Your fasting routine does not have to be the same every time. Your fasting routine doesn't have to be progressively harder every single time. What it might mean for you is some days you're pushing along fast. Other days you're doing a 16-hour fast and controlling your calories, eating really well. When you flexibly fast, you teach yourself how to be imperfectly consistent. You teach yourself that having a day where you overeat sometimes is not a big deal. But the more important part is, can you be imperfectly consistent? Can you be consistent in showing up? Can you show up for yourself every day despite feeling bad? This chair is the worst. Can you continue to show up even on the hard days? It's really easy to show up on the good days. It's really easy to share when you're doing well. It's another thing to share when you're struggling. When I ate 9,500 calories on a recent refeed, old Jerome wouldn't have wanted to share that. Old Jerome would have said, let's not talk about it. Let's pretend it didn't happen. And I'm starting to realize the more honest and transparent I can be, the more helpful it is to me to learn about myself, because I'm not hiding from it. I'm not running away from it. But it's also taking the shame and the guilt away from doing something that isn't really quote unquote bad. It is what it is. I'm okay with it. I know not everyone eats the same way I do or eats as much as I do. Hey, more power to you, right? Because if you don't eat as much as I do, you don't have to fast as long as I do. At the same time, sometimes I look at the way I eat as, you wish you could eat like me, but you can't. Depends. It depends. Christian sister, hello. Christian sister says, yo, or I'm not sure what yo, if that's what you meant. I made it to another live. Hello. Perfect, because I have a question about dry fasting. Ask. What's the question? Hi, Sydney. How's it going? I'm good, Sydney. I know you're not just talking to me, but I'll pretend you are. Adeline, hello, hello. Welcome. I love this too from Sydney. Tomorrow is day 200 of my weight loss journey. Really proud of myself because my previous attempts only ever lasted 60 days max. Not even enough time to develop good new habits. I love this, Sydney. I love this. Like, honestly, thank you for sharing this with us. This is what I love to see. Somebody saying that they're 200 days in, that they're not starting over. They're not saying day one. They're not saying, I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to start on the first of the month, but instead have realized, hey, the journey doesn't end. There are going to be bumps in the road, but it's going to be fine. And for you to say you're really proud of yourself, I'm proud of you. This isn't an easy thing to do, especially when you live in kind of an all or nothing type mindset. So for you to continue on your journey and say you're 200 days in, that's great. I love that for you, Sydney. Keep going. Please keep us posted. Oh, yo means hi. Well, hi, Christian. Christian asks, have you done any dry fasting? Supposedly, it's a way to drop even more fat than water fasting with less hunger. Any experience with this? What are your thoughts? So I will share with you my experience. Other people who are in chat can share their experience, but I'll tell you personally, I do dry fast, but my dry fasts are very short. And by very short, I mean anywhere between 12 hours to maybe 16 hours tops. All of us dry fast. When I tell people all of us fast, if you sleep, you fast. But actually, if you sleep, you're dry fasting because you're not taking in any water, you're not taking in any food. So you're already dry fasting. It's just a matter of how long you're going to push that for. For me, I'll stop drinking for the day 2 or 3 hours before bed. And then if I go to sleep and I sleep 8 hours, then I'm 10, 11 hours fasted, dry fasted. And then when I get up in the morning, I go to the gym or I go for a walk. And by the time I come home, I'm maybe 14 or 15 hours dry fasted, sometimes longer than that. Usually 16 hours is the max though. I don't really go past that because I'm very active. I also know that with me, water fasting, I've already gotten really good results without having to push a dry fast. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't dry fast or that you can't, but when you say it's a way to drop even more fat than water fasting, that's what I've heard as well. At the same time, I also know that I lost 80 pounds in less than 5 months. I got to my goal weight in less than 5 months. I lost 80 pounds in 138 days. And to me, that's record time. To me, I know that's not something everyone can do. Not that everyone has to do that, but I also was able to lose that much weight doing rolling 90s and still eating whatever I want. Other people have done dry fasts. Other people I have talked to, I have coached that I know have done longer dry fasts. And there's always the conversation of dry fasting will speed up the process by 3 times. Whether or not that's true, I don't really know. I'm pretty sure when you first start dry fasting, you're putting nothing in you. You're not even holding any water. So I can see the results becoming quicker on the scale. But in terms of what happens after that, that's a little different. That part I can't really share unless some other people want to share their own personal experience. So that's my only experience with this. The other thing, though, too, Christian, is if you want to try it, it's something you can try. And I also know that sometimes it can be very extreme for other people. So if you're not feeling it, you just get back into your water fast, then you keep pushing. And if or when it becomes time to break, then you do that. So yeah, and even Miss Peaceful One says here, if you decide to try it, it's good to make sure you're hydrated for the days leading up to it. And I completely agree. I completely agree. I just saw Tanisha's comment. I was like, wait, what? Okay. Thanks for the kind words, Tanisha. I don't even know how really to respond to that. So let's continue on. Like I said, I have been fasting now for the last 60 plus days. If you look at where it's highlighted in green at the bottom, my average fast has been around 47 hours. In the last 686 days, my fasting time is around 49 hours. Now, it doesn't mean that I've only been doing 46 to 49-hour fasts. I have been doing different fasting lengths, 90-hour fasts, 120-hour fasts. But I've also eaten back-to-back days, having 16-hour fasts, 23-hour fasts, a mix of fasts in there. I have been flexibly fasting, if you want to call it that. A combination of long fasts, short fasts, overeating, eating really clean, imperfect consistency, right? A reminder for many of you who are in here, this isn't about perfection. This isn't about fasting perfectly every day, all day. This isn't about perfection in your eating, in the way you exercise. This is about learning how to create good, healthy habits that you can take with you in the long run. Because you and I both know in the last 687 days of my journey, I go on vacation. I eat back-to-back days. I get invited to go out. I go do things with my friends. I'm not just going to sit there and fast and be like, well, no, not doing that today. You have to learn to practice imperfect consistency. You have to learn to stop throwing away the day, because if you keep throwing away the day, if you keep saying, gonna start tomorrow, gonna wait until Monday. Actually, how many, if anyone is brave enough to say that today is their day one because it's Monday, I would love for you to tell me in chat. Because maybe you can say today is your day one, and you can say this is the last time it's going to be my day one. And what I would love then is for next Monday to come and you tell me you are on day 7, 8, day 8. But I understand. It's hard to get out of that rhythm. It's hard to get out of starting over, that this isn't good enough. This is me trying to say, let me help you get out of that all or nothing mentality. So yesterday was my refeed day. Yesterday, my goal was to keep myself under 3,000 calories before I continue on. Beauty and heart, thank you. Thank you for putting this out there, because I know that this is very hard for many people. Many people who are in here who might not say anything, might not talk about starting over. And Beauty and Heart says here, it is my day one and it needs to be my last reset. So let's work on this, Beauty and Heart. The name is now in my head. I'm going to remember this. Let this be your last day one. And maybe what this means for you is, if I live stream tomorrow, or I live stream, if you catch a live stream later down the road, chime in and be like, you don't even have to say much of anything else. You can just say, Jerome, this is day 3. This is day 6. This is day 12. Take the good with the bad. When you have a bad day, when you overeat, even if you find yourself going to the extreme and you find yourself in a binge, and I don't know if that's something that happens to you, but take it as a moment of growth. Take it as a moment of, I'm not going to start over. I'm just going to continue this journey. I'm going to learn from this experience. That's my hope, that you can figure this part out. So I would love to see you continue on with that. Thank you for sharing with us, though. Mike, what's going on, Mike? Nice to see you. Who else is in here? Fish Cheeks. I haven't seen that name before. Hello. Sleck. It's okay, Sleck. It's okay. How dare you watch another stream? Just kidding. Welcome, Sleck. Hello, hello. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about my refeed. If I can get this screen up. There we go. Yesterday was my refeed day. You all know I have been practicing ADF, eating every other day, fasting every other day. Hi, Soul by Storm. I forgot about you. Hello, welcome, welcome. Yesterday was my refeed day, and my goal yesterday was to keep my calories under 3,000 and to keep my protein above 190 grams. If you've been here long enough, you all know that the diet part is the hard part for me. Keeping my calories in check is the hard part for me, especially when I'm somebody that can eat 5, 6, 7,000 calories, 10,000 calories, 15,000 calories in a day. This is the reason that for the month of September or the remainder of this month, I said, I'm going to do ADF, 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 ADF. I could do 65s. I could do 90s. I could do longer fasts, but I already know I'm good at that. I know I can get long fasts under my belt. What I am trying to do now is fast for less because I know I need to be better when it comes to my diet. I know it. I know I need to be better when it comes to keeping my calories in check. And every day or every other day when I get to eat, this is a practice for myself to keep that in check. So yesterday I broke with shrimp and broccoli. I haven't had this in a minute. One of the reasons I did this is because that's a weird shot, is because I ended up eating salmon later, and I know salmon is higher in calories. So I was trying to get something lower calorie, but still a good amount of protein. So a very simple meal here of just broccoli and shrimp. And then whenever the next scene cuts into, yes, and you'll see me, I do eat the shrimp with the tail, not always, but I don't want to be bothered by taking the tail off. I just eat it straight up. Might be gross for other people, but I enjoy doing it. The next clip here is me eating Brussels sprouts. This isn't a surprise. This is about a pound of Brussels sprouts. The broccoli, I believe, was like 12 ounces of broccoli, and the shrimp was about two-thirds of a pound. I also did eat this with some balsamic vinegar. It's a really good dipping sauce. That's what I've been using it for instead of drizzling over it. And then I had more corn. One of the reasons I had corn is because my last refeed, I was pretty full. And a lot of you said it's probably because of the corn. So I wanted to test that theory, and I ended up getting more corn. Also, I just like corn. I just enjoy it. I did put a little butter in here, so just FYI, to give it a little more taste or a little more flavor. You don't have to do that. It's just something that I wanted to put in there. It was really good. After the corn, here is the salmon. You'll see here, I have a lot of spices. I know most of you don't know this, but I used to work in corporate, and I used to work as a social media manager, an e-commerce manager, an e-commerce director, and I used to work for a spice company, and I have a ton of spices even after I left. I had like hundreds of bottles of spices. So I try to like spice different things up. This salmon, I used curry and just all the other salt, pepper, garlic type deals. The salmon was really good, but I had to make sure I didn't eat too much of it because I know that the calories can add up pretty quick. So salmon, and of course I'm just eating it by itself because afterwards I eat it with a whole bowl of white rice, mushrooms, cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes, here's the thing. I used to never be a big fan of cherry tomatoes, but now I love them because of the acidity of the tomatoes. I know I've said this before, but if you are looking for, like, if you're somebody that always wants to eat something with sauce, I would say just take a couple cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, put them in a pot, let them stew. It's a really good acidity to meat and rice or other veggies. So as I continue on this refeed, white rice, mushrooms, cherry tomatoes, cooked. Sydney says cooked soft cherry tomatoes are so good. They are. They're so good. They're so good. After that, I ate, I don't know what the next, it's 2 bananas. I don't know what, I was just making content for the camera. 2 bananas. And then this is about a pound of pineapples, strawberries, and mangoes. I've been trying to add fruit in here to get more volume. They're very low in calories, and the name of the game for me is to try to get as satiated as I can be while eating really good whole foods. But this is not whole food. This is not a whole food type meal here. This is my dessert, right? This dessert is, and I know I've talked about this a lot before, this is sugar-free. This is actually sugar-free vanilla pudding with canned pumpkin, with milk, with protein powder, and with Biscoff cookies on top, and some digestive tea biscuits. This is still very high calorie-wise, but it's also very high protein-wise. It's my substitute for pumpkin pie. You all know I love pumpkin pie, or if you don't know, now you do. And this is what I've been making almost every refeed because it's just it hits the sweet spot for me. It kind of tastes like pumpkin pie. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm never going to eat pumpkin pie again. I love that Christian sister asks what the recipe is. I have now shared this recipe, I think 4 times on this live, but I'll do it again. We'll go through it real quick. But Bertie says, Jerome, I need you to come cook my food. You know what? I was going to say, sure, we'll all have a potluck together. Vivian says, your diet has improved so much. Thanks, Vivian. I struggle with this because I still enjoy fast food burgers, cookies, and chips during my refeed. How did you make the shift? So here's the answer, Vivian. Anybody who's wondering, Jerome, how did you get to this place? Jerome, how are you able to limit calories now? How are you able? The quick and easy answer here, Vivian, is you just show up. You put it into practice every day. My refeeds, yes, have been 6,000, 7,000. You've seen, so you know me well enough. You've seen my past refeeds. You've seen me eat fast food all day. And then you've probably noticed that fast food all of a sudden started turning into like eating a couple good things here and there. Started turning into, eating more whole foods here and there. Started turning into, wow, I can actually start controlling my calories every now and then. I made the shift because I continue to put this into practice. I still eat chips. I still eat fast food. I still have cookies. But most of the time, my meals have changed because I have continued to learn about myself and continued to learn how to enjoy food, continue to learn how to substitute things. Long story short, I know you could probably find yourself in this place too. What it's going to take is for you to be accountable, is for you to show up for yourself. You don't have to show up here on these live streams, although I know many people come here every day because it's helpful for them. It's a reminder that they're not doing it alone. It's also a good way to just chat with other people. And even for you to share this, I'm willing to guess other people will probably chime in and share how this can be helpful for you too, to make that shift. So like I was telling Beauty and Heart, and for you, Vivian, my only goal is for people to get to their goals. My hope for anyone here is that you find success, that you get to where you need to be. Let me help you. I'm not here for anything else except let me help you, because my success and to see people get or achieve success doing the same thing without having to buy anything fancy, without having to take X, Y, and Z, with just learning how to create good, healthy habits, I know you can get there. I know you can. That's all it's going to take is for you to just show up. That's all I ask. Sometimes when I coach people, the only thing I ask from them is, can you show up? Can you be present? You don't have to be present for me if it's not a coaching session. Although if you're coaching with me, I want people to be present to share the good and the bad, but that's all I mean when it comes to that. So hopefully that makes some sense. If not, come by every day. See what I talk about because it's literally the same thing. So hopefully that's helpful. Did someone else have a question? Miss Peaceful One, though, says, you should be so proud of how much your refeeds have evolved. Thanks, Miss Peaceful One. That means a lot to me. I'm, and the thing is too, right, is sometimes when I show that refeed that I ate, it's good. I love it. It's amazing. It tastes awesome. I think the problem with a lot of this is, here's the thing, is we forget that when we refeed, when we're working on these good, healthy habits, this is about making sure that you enjoy it too. Yes, of course, fasting isn't always the most comfortable. Fasting can cause discomfort. Growing can be hard. Sometimes we have to do hard things to challenge ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we have to have discomfort in our lives. But you saw everything I ate. It was a great meal. I enjoyed it. A lot of times I prefer that to going out to eat, because I know that, well, first of all, I just asked if you watch my refeed where I ate wings and I ate Brussels sprouts, I ate like 10 wings and Brussels sprouts. I asked my buddy because he paid for it all on one card. I'm like, how much do I owe you? He's like, oh, it's $41. I'm like, $41? Do you know how much chicken I could buy and Brussels sprouts I could buy with $41? And I could make better chicken than that and better Brussels sprouts than that. Money aside, right? I do this because I also enjoy it. It tastes good. And if you are working on your diet and you're trying to figure that out, you have to make it long lasting. You have to make it sustainable. You have to make it enjoyable. Now, I know what the pushback for this is too. Here's the other pushback when it comes to food. I don't have time to make this. I don't have time. I don't have time. It's too much work. I have to clean dishes. I get that. I understand that. I'm totally with you. It is annoying. It is annoying. But this is how I look at food today. Imagine old Jerome. Imagine Jerome when he weighed 225, 235 pounds. Old Jerome would have been laying on his couch. I would have been laying on my couch like this, right? And I would be like this. I'd be laying on my couch. I'd be like, okay, Grubhub, what am I going to order? Right? When I order Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever you want to call it, Postmates, all I do is lay on a couch. I press a button. The food comes to the door. I grab that food. I eat that food. And it's always unhealthy. And I probably eat whatever else I can order. Think about how easy that is, how convenient that is. And I get it. Many of you who are in here who have done that, you know the ease and the convenience of doing that. But also think about how many calories you've burned during that entire moment. Fuck all, right? Versus think about my day yesterday. Yesterday, after I finished working, I had to go to the store. I took public transportation to the store because I take public transportation everywhere. I picked up groceries. I carried those groceries home. After carrying those groceries home, I took all the groceries out. I cut up vegetables. I seasoned vegetables. I cooked the food. I had to prepare all of that. Think about all the calories I'm burning. Think about all the activity that I'm doing. I eat the food, and then what? I got to clean up. Got to clean up all the dishes. After the dishes dry, I got to put all the dishes away. And yes, maybe that's not what you want to do. Some of you might be listening to this and you're like, that's awful. I don't want to do all that. That's fine. But that's part of my routine. I don't look at food as just, I'm going to hit a button and it's going to, right? I'm just going to feed it down my throat. Yeah, those days happen when I go out with friends, but I actually enjoy the process of buying the food, preparing the food, cooking the food. I don't really care so much about the cleaning up afterwards, but I do it. And I look at that as, hey, that's just part of my day. It's become part of my routine. It's habitual. I also save a lot of money. I also am eating cleaner. I'm also making sure that I get the nutrients I need in my body. And for me, it's a mindset shift. So with that mindset shift, right? As I talk about that, as you saw all of that, my goal yesterday was to eat under 3,000 calories and eat at least 190 grams of protein. I will say I was not able to achieve that, but I was also still around that number. If you look here at my last 10 refeeds, if you look at the very bottom there, that refeed that I just showed you was 3,200 calories, 220 grams of protein. If you look at my last 10 refeeds, you all know that some of my refeeds have been very high lately, have been over 4,000 calories. But now as we're looking at these last 10 refeeds, 4 of them have been under 4,000 calories. What's starting to happen is I'm getting back into the habit of keeping my calories down. Not every time are my calories. How am I trying to say this? If you were here a couple refeeds ago, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, I think there was only one refeed that was under 3,000 calories or under 4,000 calories. Everything else was over 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, right? And here, because one of the last 10 refeeds, which is no longer here, was I think 8,000 or so. Anyway, as you see this, yeah, there are some days where I overeat. But look at what's happening. I'm putting this back into practice. I'm making sure that I practice imperfect consistency, that I keep pushing forward and saying, okay, today I will make sure I keep the calories down. I'll make sure I make good choices. I'll make sure that if I'm going to eat shitty, I'm going to put it on camera. Because everything I put on camera this time, I ate. I didn't hide anything. Because I think you've heard me say this before. Sometimes I'll eat that dessert and then I'll eat an extra cookie, or I'll eat an extra tea biscuit or whatever. And I told myself, if I do that this time, I have to film it. And so even just putting that accountability is helpful for me. Hi, Jan. Good morning, Jerome from the Philippines. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello. So with that refeed, with the way I've been eating, here are my last 10 refeed weights and my last 10 fasted weights. During my refeeds, I will put anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds on average. And if you look at my last refeed, it was only 4.5 pounds. If you look at what my weights have been over my last 4 refeeds, it's been under 150. And that number is continuing to push itself down, which I'm hoping then tomorrow when I weigh in, I'm hoping I will be back in the low 140s. That's my hope. I hope I can get myself there. But I know that as I continue to make good choices, as I continue to keep my refeed calories low, because if you all remember, my last or the next 3 refeeds, the one from yesterday, the one tomorrow, and then the one on Thursday, I'm trying to keep all of those under or I would love to keep them under 3,000, but I'll take 3,250. I'll take 3,500. Hell, I'll take 3,900, but I don't want to purposely push myself up there. If it organically gets to that point or I'm around there, that's fine. My last 28 refeeds, my average refeed time is now a little under 5.5 hours. My average calories per refeed is still over 4,000, over 4,100. It's not where I want it to be. I would love to get it closer to the 3,000 number, but it's still going down from the last refeed. My average protein per refeed, a little higher, around 206. So I'll take that as well. In the last 61 days of my journey, my daily step average is around 16,000. Does it mean you have to walk 16,000 steps? No, it doesn't. But I walk a lot because I enjoy it. I get a lot done during my walks. I do my language lessons. I walk to the gym. I walk to the store. I climb stairs when I hop on the train. Yesterday's step count wasn't even close to my daily step average. Yesterday was another low step count because I had a busy day. Does that mean just because I didn't hit all my steps, I'm going to give up? I'm going to start over? Do you know how ridiculous it would sound right now if I said, oh, you know what, everyone, I didn't hit my step limit. I might as well just order DoorDash right now and eat 10,000 calories and then I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow will be day one. No, that's ridiculous. Strength training the following morning after a refeed. You can be sure you know damn well is what I'm trying to say, is first thing that I did when I woke up this morning. It should be no surprise. I got up, went to the bathroom, stepped on the scale, walked out the door. Where did I walk to? I walked to the gym. I lifted heavy, and then I walked back home, and I went about my day. Strength training is a big, important part for me. Maintaining muscle, building muscle is a really good way to increase your metabolic rate. Maintaining your muscle is a way that your body can burn more calories. Building muscle is just a good is a good aesthetic to have. Willis says today is day 899 for me in my fasting journey and day 915 of my health and wellness journey. That's awesome, Willis. That's more than me. It's been some ups and downs, but I never restarted. Been struggling to make fasts that go beyond 24 to 28 hours. I'm not feeling discouraged though, because I'm working to get back to where I was about 6 to 8 months ago. So here's the thing too, is I'd love to see this, Willis, because, right, maybe you're in a pocket right now where you're having difficulty, but you know that you're just going to keep continuing on your journey. If you're struggling right now between 24 and 28 hours, I wonder how good is the eating? Are you continuing to work on your other weight loss levers? Are you continuing to work on your cardio, your strength training, your sleep? And you don't have to answer this. I mean, this is a general kind of thing for you, but for many other people too. I love that you haven't restarted on your journey, and my hope is that you're still continuing to work on yourself every single day. My guess is that you are, because that's how this works. We just don't give up the day. We continue on. So thank you for sharing that with us. And right under that too, Mrs. Wig, hi, from California, day 310 of my fasting journey, at least 12-hour fasting practice, at least 12-hour fasts, practicing ADF 2 days a week right now. I love that, Mrs. Wig. I love that. Thank you for sharing with us. And here's another one, right? 300 plus days into it. I love that. Mrs. Wig, keep going. Keep us posted. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so 80-20. You all know, or maybe some of you don't know what I mean by 80-20. I practice something called the 80-20 protocol, meaning 80% of the time I do what I should be doing, counting my calories, keeping my food in check, eating healthily, exercising, so on and so forth. Then I have 20% days where I will overeat. I'm not really counting calories as diligently. I might not get my steps in. I might not be lifting weights that day. But that only happens 20% of the time. If you look in the last 61 days, I have had 51 80% days. 3,000 calorie average about. And that average is even high because most of those days are fasted days. 20% days, I've only had 10 of them. So think about that. In the last 61 days, that's 2 months. In the last 61 days, I've had 10 of those days, 5 days a month. Do you see how infrequent it happens? I give them to myself. I want to enjoy days when I go out with friends, if I'm going to have a couple drinks, if I'm going to go to a ball game, if I'm going to go to a show, whatever it might be. If I'm going to go to all you can eat, because that's usually what I do on my 20% days, but it's not every day. In the last 60 days, it's been 10 times, 5 times a month. That's what it takes. Maybe you can apply an 80-20 rule so that you give yourself a little mental relief on the harder days. But even if you look at my 80% days, if you look at yesterday when I refed the way I did, some people might see that and be like, but that seems like a really good refeed. Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. So in a lot of ways, I call it an 80% day because I keep my calories in check, but I also make it enjoyable. And I think that's one of the big changes as well. Where do I go from here? Well, it's to continue the same. If you see here what I highlighted in green, my refeed goals is to keep myself under 3,000 calories, keep my protein above 190. I was able to complete that for September 21st. And my hope is I will do that on the 23rd and the 25th as well. And I think that's it when it comes to the nerdy stats. So we'll do fit check, everyone. If you are unaware of what fit check is when I stand back here and where I will show you what I look like physically. I do that for accountability. I do fit check for transparency's sake, so I'm not hiding, I'm not running away. And so even on a day like today where I ate over 3,000 calories only 18 hours before, well, never mind, 20 hours before, I want to make sure that I'm here and I'm accountable. I'm up 4.5 pounds. I probably don't have to say this, but I'm sure most people, if they gain 3 to 5 pounds or 4 to 6 pounds after a refeed, they might not want to show up. They might not want to be like, hey, everyone, look at me. But I do it because I want you to know that we're in this together, that I want to show you full transparency. So before I show or before we do fit check, you know how this goes. I have been overweight my entire life. As a child, here at 5 years old, I think 5. I don't know how old I was here, probably around the same age here when I was, 7 or so. I think I was 19 here. I think I was in my early 20s here. And then here I was in my late 30s or mid 30s, right? I show those photos because I have been overweight, obese, morbidly obese my entire life. It's not like I just became morbidly obese 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I was already morbidly obese probably by the time I was in my late teens. By the time I was like 18, 19, I was already morbidly obese. I show those photos because it's a reminder that I have been able to lose this weight naturally. I am not on any medication. I have never had any kind of weight loss surgery. I have never been on any kind of GLP-1, not Ozempic, not Wegovy, not whatever else is out there, semaglutides. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not saying that you shouldn't find the help that you need. I say this so that you understand that I have been able to find a way even after 44 years, right? I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 in less than 3 months. That even in my 40s, even after I had lost hope that I was never going to figure this out, I've been able to figure it out without any type of aid, except through building good, healthy habits, through showing transparency, through being accountable. And if this is inspiring or motivating for you, think about why I keep talking about accountability. Because to me, I feel like that's the missing piece. We all know how to lose weight. We all know what good, healthy habits look like, or at least the most of us do. But many of us, the missing piece here is the accountability. If you want that accountability, come here, show up, share with us, or find an accountability partner. Book a coaching session with me if you'd like. There's no pressure. You don't have to do that. I'm not forcing you to do that. But if you are trying to find accountability in a different way, try something different. Try something new. Let's do fit check. So currently I'm wearing this small sweater. It was a little cooler out today, although it's pretty warm now. But I'm feeling a little bloated anyway, so it kind of works out. Remember, I'm 4.5 pounds up. I'm wearing a size small right now, but I'm also wearing boys shorts because that's the only clothes that really fit me are usually boys clothes at this point. I'm going to move this out of the way. So full shot here, right? Side. Rear, side, and that's pretty much fit check. Yes, I am bloated. I am wearing a compression shirt here. I am 4.5 pounds up, and you'll see, right? This is fat right here, right? But that's me coming off of a refeed. That's me 4.5 pounds up. Yes, I do have loose skin. Yes, I do know that I still have some excess fat that I need to lose, but no shame, right? No embarrassment, no guilt. This is where I'm at. Every day I continue to work on myself. Every day I continue this journey. Remember, when I first started this journey, I lost this weight in record time, in 138 days. I lost this weight in less than 5 months, but the journey has continued ever since day 138. It's been 500 plus days at this point, and I continue to work on myself because I wasn't going to fast for 90 hours forever. I wasn't going to fast for 65 hours forever. Currently, I'm fasting for around 40 hours. And you want to know the truth? When I get to my goal weight, I'm not going to be fasting for 40 hours forever either. The fasting protocol is going to lower itself. I will be eating more frequently. But in order for me to get there, I have to control my calories. I have to get good at that. And that's why the journey continues day in and day out. You don't have to follow my protocol. You don't have to fast the way I do. I cannot tell you how many people will come to me and be like, okay, Jerome, I'm doing 90-hour fasts and I'm eating 6,000 calories, but I can't get those calories in. I'm like, what? Why? Don't eat the way I do. I did that because I had to figure out what worked for me. Remember, your journey is your journey. Do not let other people tell you otherwise. Nobody told me to do rolling 90s. I figured that out on my own. I ate 5, 6, 7,000 calories because that is something that I do. I have learned to figure a way that works for me. What I'm teaching all of you here is you need to find what good, healthy habits look like for you. Sure, you can fast for a long time, but can you do it sustainably? Can you do it consistently? And if you can't, do you know how to fast for shorter and control your calories? If you don't, then that's something you need to continue to work on. But Jerome, how do I get to that point? How can I eat better? How can I control my calories if I have a heart? By showing up, by doing it every day, by putting it into practice. I'm going to say that again. You want to get good at this? You want to get good at fasting for longer? You want to get good at controlling your calories? You want to get good at making better food choices? You want to get good at your cardio? You want to get good at strength training? You want to get good at better sleep? Do you know how you're going to get there? By putting it into practice. Put it into practice. You cannot just, we can all do hard things every once in a while, but you can't do it forever. Eventually, you have to learn how to do other things. How do you get good at it? By putting it into practice. Okay, that's my spiel when it comes to that. Q&A, everyone, question and answer. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to ask them now. I mean, I try to answer questions as I'm doing these live streams. I know that I'll probably miss a couple here and there. So if you have questions or you want to say something specifically, please feel free to share it. I will be happy to go through it. In the meantime, while you might have questions or you might have something specific you want to share, if you're looking for help when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, if you're looking for an accountability coach or an accountability partner, I really like to look at it more as a partner. We're doing it together. You're not alone type deal. You can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. I can help you put a game plan and a strategy together. You can also check the site out if you'd like with the squeaky chair that's making noise. I do have merch. If you want to buy something like a sticker, you can go on there as well. It's a different way to support me. I do sell hats there too. You all know I wear hats all the time. And if you want to support in a different way, you can also be part of the Finally Fasting fam. What is the Finally Fasting fam? It's a membership on YouTube. If you go to the link in the description of this live stream on YouTube, you can click that link and you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. You'll get your name at the intros of these live streams. You get to use custom emoji like either of these. These are both available in chat. And if you join the higher tier, you get to join me on Wednesdays where we have group accountability sessions. So it's not just me talking, but other people on camera, sometimes just in chat, sometimes just on audio. But if that's something that might help you to show accountability or to be accountable for, we'd love to have you. So you can take a look at that. Okay. Questions? Anyone? I like how Mike says that speech, Jerome Goggins, new mantra, show up. I mean it. I mean it, Mike. And I mean, that's the thing is I know some days I'm feeling it and I really want to get that message across. And I hope I try to convey that message every single time that I am on here. Sydney says, Jerome, have you ever waited until Monday? Sydney, are you joking? Sydney, I am the definition of wait till Monday. Why do you think I always say to people, don't wait till Monday? Because that was my life. That was me for so long. Maybe you haven't actually, because let me share this. Here's the thing about how my life used to be. I used to be very all or nothing. I used to be that person that would say, imagine, right? It's 6 p.m. right now. And it's 6 p.m. right now. And then let's say I just didn't want to fast any longer. And so what I would tell myself is I would be like, okay, forget today. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. And then that's when I would find myself in a binge. I would drop everything I'm doing. I would stop working. I would stop answering texts. I would stop doing anything that had any meaning in my life. I would then order a bunch of food. I wouldn't care how much it cost. And then let's say it's 6 o'clock. Let's say the food comes at 7, and I'll even order groceries to come, and it's just a bunch of junk food. And I would eat it all, and I would throw trash everywhere. And this is literally my life, right? And I'd be laying on the couch, and let's say it's 9 something at night. And I'm like, okay, it's 3 hours until midnight. I'm going to order something else before midnight. Who cares if it costs $70 to get delivered? I'm going to order it. And I'm going to make sure I eat it by 11:59 p.m. Because you know what? At 12 a.m., and let's say it's Sunday, at 12 a.m. on Monday, I'm going to start. I'm going to start on Monday. Or, for example, if it's Thursday, I would do that. And I'd be like, well, you know what? The weekend is here. So I'm just going to eat like this until Sunday as well. And then Sunday at 11:59 p.m., that will be my last bite. And then this is what I would do. And for people who have heard this, maybe you've heard me say this, but at 11:59 p.m., what I would do after, like, let's say there's 20 seconds left before midnight. And this is the honest truth. What I would do is and I know it sounds weird, and I don't know if anyone else has ever done this, but let's say it was like 11:59 and 43 seconds. I would literally close my eyes like this. I would close my eyes and be like, and sometimes I would even hold my breath. That's how fucked up this is. That's how bad this habit was. And I would stand there and I'd be like, I'd hold my breath, and because I know that midnight would hit, right? And I would just be like, okay, once I let go of my breath and I open my eyes, I'd look at my phone. I'd be like, it's midnight. It's go time. Today is day one. That's how it used to be. But of course, you all know that it wasn't day one. It would be day one again and again and again. I would find an excuse. Oh, my birthday's coming. Oh, wait, I have vacation. So after vacation. Oh, you know what? The new month is coming. The new year is coming. That's why you always hear me say, don't wait till Monday. Stop restarting. Stop saying day one. Stop saying day one. It's taken a long time to get out of that. That's why when I talk about today's day 687 for me, I mean it. That's how much it means to me, because I have been that person for so long. So hopefully you get a better understanding of why I do that. Yeah, it is. It's a lived experience for sure. For sure. Aisha, hi, nice to see you. Maggie also asks the similar question. Will you be live streaming tomorrow? I love these. When are you planning on going live tomorrow? I actually think I booked time off my calendar for tomorrow for this. So, or did I? Maybe I didn't. What's tomorrow? 23rd. Tomorrow we will have an earlier live stream. So my guess is maybe somewhere around 1:30 p.m. Central to 2 p.m. Central. So let's maybe figure for that time. It won't be as late as this because it's already 6 p.m. and I still got to hop on the train. And it's starting to get dark. That's when you know fall's coming. It's starting to get dark outside. And I like it, but I still have to like hop on the scooter, and I don't like riding the scooter in the dark because those wheels are so small. If I hit a pothole, I'm going to fall over. So I want to make sure I don't do that. Okay. Good Trouble. Hi, what fasting app do you use? So I currently use the Zero app, Good Trouble, but I do not recommend it. The Zero app will force you to use your credit card. It is always asking you to sign up and pay money. So I would recommend something like Easy Fast in the meantime. This is where I would tell you to use my fasting app, but it's not ready yet. When it comes out, I'll let you know. But I would maybe try something like Easy Fast. Maybe there are other people here as well that can share what they use, but those are really the only apps that I'm aware of that, well, one that I use, but again, I don't recommend Zero, but Easy Fast is one that other people, right? And other people are sharing that there. So I would look into that, because don't waste your money. That's all I'm saying. Don't waste your money. Okay. Hey, Priceman5, it's nice to see you. I don't think I said hi to you either. Has anyone experienced the issue with Zero where you can't alter an ongoing fast to add more time? I haven't had that issue. I've been okay on it for me. So maybe you just got to close the app and restart it. I don't know. God, I cannot wait for my app to come out. So then it'll just be better. I've whenever it comes out. Okay, everyone, that's it. I got to go catch a train. Thank you all for being here today. A special thanks to Tommy. Tommy, are you still here? I don't know if you are. Thanks to Tommy for the $10 Canadian super chat. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the extra support that way, Tommy. Tommy, it's always nice to see you. Thanks again. Thank you to all my Finally Fasting fam members. Thank you for supporting me as well. Thank you for being either part of the OMAD group or the autophagy group. I do appreciate that extra support. So thank you so much. And then again, thank you to all my Finally Fasting chat people today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being accountable. Thank you for showing up. Question for you. Will you be accountable today and tomorrow? Can you show up tomorrow? And I'm not saying you have to be here. It's great if you want to join us, but I ask this question as a way for you to show up for yourself, for you to continue on your journey, for you to keep moving forward. Can you do that? You don't have to do it for me. You don't have to do it for other people in chat, but do it for yourself. If it's helpful to do it for other people, I mean, here's the thing. That's why I'm on here every day, because I know that I can't just do it by myself. I know I need that additional support, and I get it from all of you. And I know you get it from all of me. You get it from me as well. So with that being said, thank you all so much. I appreciate you. It means a lot to me to have your support. And I wish nothing but for all of us to get to our goals. I know we can do it. Okay. All right. That's it. Here's my obligatory wave. I'll see you tomorrow around, I would say 1:30 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Central, somewhere around then. So hopefully I'll see you then. Okay. That's it. Bye. Take care.